Okay, let's get started on this amazing table runner. It's a pointed star, but it is in the red and green colors, so I'm going to use this one for Christmas. I have completed some of it already, so I want to show you how I'm going to finish that. The first thing that I always do when we get started is stabilize the quilt, so that's what I want to start with. To stabilize the quilt, I am going to go around each of the little stars. And I'm using my ruler, and I do have the extended base on as well. I just change it over like that. I have metallic gold thread on the machine, and I'm using that for everything, for the stabilizing, for the stitch and the ditch, for all the quilting that I'll be doing on this one. So just change that with your angle that you are using. Once we're finished stabilizing the quilt, then we can really go into any of the areas that we want to put our designs into. But remember that stabilizing is the #1 thing that you want to do in your custom quilting. So let's get started on our other designs. I want to keep this very straight, about 1/8 of an inch apart. This is not a big project. So, and I want this to have pretty dense quilting on it. Just back and forth and just kind of rounding off the top like this. And when I go into this other area, go all the way up, and I'm keeping it perpendicular to the outer edge. And I'm going to do that all the way over to complete this section like this. Oh, that gold thread really shows up pretty. It's got quite a nice shimmer to it, and this fabric has that gold shimmer in it as well. Now I'm going to stitch the outer border, and I'm just doing this with holly with some little berries. You can see I am staying close to the edge of the quilt, close in here next to the quilt, because I want to make sure I don't get too close if I want to, depending on how I'm going to bind this little quilt. And I just do 3, and then I do 2 little berries like that, and it's just like half circles, and then 2 little berries, and 1, 2, 3. Now as I come back, I will do a little berry and come back the other way and just do a little berry underneath. Again, making sure that I stay away. Whoops, I did the berry in the wrong place. That's okay. It's going to have a little extra berry there. Staying away from the edge of the quilt so that I can come back and bind it. Or face it. I might face it. There we go. Now I'm doing this leaf design, and when I'm doing this, I want to try to think of a half circle as I'm doing it. Otherwise, these leaves can get very straight. And you don't always have to just come out with one point. You can come out with more points, and I think that's very attractive and looks very real to me. And it also helps you reach into areas where you need to be. I wanted to make this look like a flower, a leaf on a flower, and I'm going to put some curls in there. So I'm just coming up here like this, coming around like that, and then I come in here, and I'm doing a teardrop feather. So I do the feather, come back and put the teardrop in it. Again, this is really beautiful with this gold thread. I am sewing in constant, but you can certainly do this in regulated. And as I get to the tip of the little flower or leaf, these are getting very small. Then I follow the leaf over and then continue getting larger as they come back down. So you make a feather, round and follow the side, and then come back in and put a teardrop in it. There'll be one more here. This is just all continuous. and then I'm going to do a curve, curl at the end, come back, and over here as well. Curl, curve, come back in there, and then come right back up over here and put the other flower in there, or leaf, whichever you want to call it. But you can see how quickly you can get this quilted. I'm sure that this took a lot longer to piece than it took for me to quilt it. My sister pieced it for me as a Christmas present. And then I'll follow the tip over there, and these are kissing feathers. They just sort of touch each other at the top and then come back down. And we'll have both of those done. And then continuing, just do some curves in here with a curl at the top. And I swing out on that outer curve to make it look more like a ribbon. Out and in, and there we have that. Last of all, I have this end area, and I could have put a block pattern in here, but I decided instead to do Linda's Egyptian curl in here. I come in here with a curl like that, come back down. The curl is going to touch the end of the last one, come back down, watching my spacing there. The curl will be all along this edge here, and then we have this nice repetitive line work inside here. Of course, it will match on the other side, and it will look so beautiful. And you'll see how I go from this area into the next area without stopping. Touch the last one and come back down. Now I do need to put something in this area. I don't want to leave that without anything in it. And I'll just follow my line up here and down here and start my curls again. And that gave me a good base there. And these curls are ending up right along the edge as well. So those curls have lined that entire edge. And I may put one down here just to fill in that space. And that completed that area. To complete the other side, I come up like that, and I go right over where that curl was. They actually form a heart. You have probably watched me do the what I call Linda's Egyptian curl before. Round, touch the tip of the last one, and then back down. And I'm just moving this very evenly with my timing because it is in constant. I'm not in regulated stitch. Come down here, do another little curl to match that one. Follow that over, come back up here, and again, the curls along the edge. It's so fun to do this. I know if you try it on paper and play around on paper for a little while, you'll be real excited to get over to your machine and get it stitched out on your machine. And another little one right here. And you see that would take me over, and I could complete this leaf, and then my entire table runner is really finished. I made sure all the leaves went the same direction as far as the curves, just so I didn't have to try to remember which way they should go. There we go. I think when I'm finished with this and have it bound, I'm going to put gold tassels on the end of each one. That will look so pretty on my table. So let's take a look at this finished project now.